Hi, this is Finn from Magic 7 Tarot. Today we're going to do something a bit different. I got a message from my guides that some of you are feeling lost out there. So we're going to do a general reading today for anyone who's feeling lost. And this reading is good for all signs, and it's good for any time you happen to find this. It's a guidepost reading, as it were. So I've already done. I'm a bit out of breath because I had some intense dreams last night. I was asking Spirit last night about a topic. I've been feeling over the last little while uh, this sort of wellspring of intensity that I needed to do something more general that anyone could find at any time. And so I've been sort of asking for a message, asking for a message, asking for a message. And last night I had this giant dream about being lost and directionless. And so that's it. So this morning I got up and I did this reading, and I've sat with it for a while, and it's going to be a little different. Most of my readings are sign specific, and they're sort of focused on the the mundane, what's happening with my life right now, or how can I make things work better. And this is a much more spiritually deep reading, and so it's taken a lot of energy this morning to get up and ready to do this. And uh, but here it is. So I've done a magic 7 spread, and I'm going to go through the cards, and then we're going to pull some animal spirit cards for each sign, or each element. I think we'll do, because each sign would be a lot. So fire, air, earth, and water. Okay, so in the past, we have the Three of Coins reversed. Now, as you know from watching my channel, Brotherhood of Light Tarot, the reverse cards doesn't mean negative, it just means harder to express. But the Three of Coins in the reverse position here is like failed action. So it seems to me that you failed to take action based on things that you absolutely knew to be true. And so you find yourself a kind of a scattered purposes. And this is like the seed to confusion, or being lost, right? Is like not following the things you know to be true. And uh, uh, things that maybe you should have atoned for. uh, Atone is a really interesting at one, right? Atone. um, so things that you maybe made mistakes in, or you felt bad about, but you didn't take the action in the at that moment, and they've sort of built up. So uh, uh, things you've been injured by, or things you've injured yourself. Okay, so self-injury. So taking those scattered purposes, the impression I have is that the first step in getting through this confusion is to write those out, right? What are the things, I meant to say I was sorry to my mom because I didn't walk her dog. Those sorts of things. I mean, it sounds silly, right? I don't mean to be silly, because this is a serious reading, a serious spiritual reading for anyone who's feeling confused. And whenever you find it, this is the right, you found the right reading for you today. Okay, have confidence in that. I'm a pretty lighthearted person, so for me to go deep here, it's maybe a bit out of character if you've been watching the channel. Failed action. Okay, so what actions did you fail to take in the past that have led you to this moment? I want you to write them out. It's not like you have to correct them right now. You just have to kind of take an inventory of the things that you've done in the past that have led to this kind of scattered purposes. Okay. In the present, we have the Nine of Coins reversed. So here we go. It's kind of like, you know, for every idea that, for every moment that you repressed and you didn't express, now they've tripled the impact on your present moment, which is why you're finding me today. It's because you're feeling scattered and feeling like you don't know which way to go. And um, so Arrogance cannot solve the problems, right? Believing you have all the answers is the problem. Okay, this is the time to go deep and ask your guides for insight, just like I asked my guides. I could feel this welling up. I need to do something general. What do people need? And I was going to pull a tarot card and sort of based on that. And then, I mean, I literally spent half an hour writing this dream down about being lost. I'm a very practical person, travel frequently and super organized. I don't get lost. I was in Paris a couple of weeks ago. I went for a run in the morning. I got turned around. I never felt lost. I didn't know where I was going, but I know the sun is over there and my hotel's over this way. I found my way. Okay. I sort of opened my mind to the moment and tried to follow. But right now we're talking about an intuitive direction that hasn't been followed through, right? So you have to balance your intuition with reason, but more importantly, you have to balance your reason with intuition. There's a balancing act here. That's what it boils down to. But having big ideas about yourself and where you wish you were going, and then not following through on those ideas is led to this kind of log jam, right, of intentions. The confusion is that in the past you've known what you wanted and you haven't expressed it to yourself. Arrogance, ideas alone can't solve the moment. Okay, you need to use your intuition. And so do you meditate? Do first of all, we're going to take an inventory of the things we meant to do but didn't. And then instead of thinking, how can I solve this problem? Like it's really important not to simply apply reason to the situation, but to apply this kind of balance of reason and intuition. Yeah, balance. Balance is the answer. Okay. Sometimes when you see that there's been a bunch of problems that you haven't solved, the first step is to be like, okay, I got to tackle all of those. Okay, I got to get through my list. I'm going to plow through them. And I'm going to say that that's not the answer today. Okay, the answer is this sort of, what's the image is, you don't, if you have muddy water, stirring it just makes it cloudier, right? So the only way to make it clear is to filter it. So we're going to filter our thoughts here through our intuition to try to come up with a direction. Okay. In the immediate future, we have the Seven of Swords. So in this position, from a spiritual point of view, that it's a recognition that all of these events, all of these things that led to this kind of confusion have a spiritual meaning. It's not simply practical, right? Everything, every idea has a material expression. It has an astral expression, like our dream body or our astral body, and then it has a spiritual expression. And so, you don't get through discordant situations without having faith in yourself. And I think that developing a faith in yourself, your ability to reason the situation, and reason meaning, I could talk myself through it, that's going to take you half the way. And the next part is going to be, how do I feel about those ideas? How do I make it through? Okay. For some of you, this is going to be a process where you're going to struggle. Okay, whenever we're lost, wherever we don't know our direction, the first inclination is, oh my goodness, I have to find my way. And what I'm sort of suggesting to you is that is not the way you need to deal with this moment. The way you need to deal with this moment is to sort of back off of it and look for, so, there's this list. So each of those factors in this list has a spiritual expression. And what I'm challenging you to do as a way of making your way through this muddy moment is to find the spiritual meaning behind each of those. So I let's go back. I told my mom I would walk her dog and I didn't. Okay, why is that? Do I have resentment against dogs, or do I have resentment against my mom? Is there something I haven't talked to my mom about that's making me forget this moment? Okay, that's that's going deep here, right? That's not taking it on the surface level. I forgot. You know, I don't think you can excuse yourself for forgetting things like this in this context. Okay. Please be forgiving of yourself. I mean, part of this is that you injured yourself, okay, by not following your inclinations. Okay. Created, failed action. It's like you wanted to do something and you didn't. Okay, now I'm asking you to look for the why. Not why, gee, my car wouldn't start, so I didn't make it over there. Okay, not that why. Okay, it's deeper than that. Because when you're lost, you're in a spiritual crisis. So we're looking to the cards now for spiritual answers, not material answers, not practical answers. Knowing that as above, so below. So, if we find the answers in ourselves, right? Those are the answers, the deep answers, right? We're looking for deep answers to kind of find direction eventually, right? I mean, that's what this is about. When you're lost, you're looking for direction. I hope you're doing okay. Let me take a step back here. It's a lot. I'm sorry that you're feeling lost. And the spirit world is saying to me, this is a message you got to get out to people, because people are feeling lost right now. And right now being whenever you find this message, okay? It's deep for me. This takes a little more effort than, will I get a new job, right? All of those things are important too. It takes more effort from you too, okay? Right? This is not just a wish list. This is I should have done this list, regrets, right? So and then not staying with regret, but looking for the deeper meaning of why didn't I follow through for myself? Why did I let myself down? Okay. I'm going to get you some more clues here. Okay. But this is the path through for you to find your direction. Okay. So what part can you control is the Three of Swords. Okay. There's three threes in your reading and a 9. So, a 3 has to do with action. Okay. And so it's about taking action, and it's about, in a lot of cases, not taking action here, not taking action on the things that you should. Okay. So this is saying to control your idealism, and idealism is an illusion, is part of this. Okay. So when something, obviously we want to think of our ideal life, but idealism can also cloud our vision of what we're trying to accomplish. Okay. So this is asking you to cultivate higher emotions. In other words, the discordancy that you've created, that you've planted the seeds in your life for this discordant feeling of being lost. Listen, none of us are lost. Okay? You're not lost. You're right here. Like the Buddha, you touch the earth. Where are you? Right here. Right here. So be here now. That's what I'm asking you. That's what the cards are saying. Be here now. And let's sort this out, okay? Let's pick up the strands of how we got here and try to find a new direction. Because that's what you want, right? When you're lost, you want some kind of direction. A noble cause, right? So controlling your idealism, but also setting your standards very high. Okay? You're not just trying to get past this moment, trying to find a new direction for where you're headed. And that's a big deal. It's a big deal that you're lost. I'm so sorry. Right. The nobler your cause. In other words, if you're looking for a true spiritual direction in your life, that's a noble cause. If you're looking for directions to the, to the grocery store, that's not as noble. Okay? So setting your cause, what are you looking for here? Right? The higher your cause, the more noble your desires, the more you're going to attract guides and from your spirit your spirit guides who are around you all the time. Okay. I'm sure you have a whole gang of people around you on the astral plane going, look at me, follow me. Okay. And that's part of the problem, right? Is there's too many voices here. So go deep for yourself, set a noble cause, and see where that leads you. And I know that you're going to get some guidance as well. Okay, what's the environment here? Is the 11, Arcanum 11, which in the Brotherhood of Light deck is called the Enchantress. It's Neptune. And so it's a general sense of illusion. Okay? So caused by some of your actions and caused by the environment itself. Uh, it's like you've lost control over the things you really want, right? At some point in the past, you lost control over the things you really want, and so uh, uh, it also could represent being conned or misled or fooled. I mean, this is really like a con artist, okay? And so I'm not blaming you here for being lost. Maybe you believed in something that just isn't true. And so uh, stop. Okay. If it's not true, and again, these are new messages coming to me, right? These could have been things that other people told to you that you believed, or you sort of believed them, you humored them, gave them the benefit of the doubt. Okay. And that benefit of the doubt has turned out to be false. False. Okay. Reject falsehoods. Uh, direct your thinking towards what you really want. And maybe what you really want today is a direction. And that's okay. You don't have to know what that direction is. You just have to direct your thoughts towards getting that direction. And also combining that with what we call induced emotion. Okay, so you bring to bear an emotional state. In other words, if you're lost, that's a kind of a panicked state. Okay, so if you're asking for new direction but you're bringing that panicked state to it, you're really not tuning into your higher self. Okay, and instead looking for a truthful path for yourself, right? Looking for the truth. There's nothing higher in the spiritual realm than truth. And so the more you could focus on truth as your goal, what's the truth of the situation for myself, the more you're not going to be fooled or conned, manipulated, misled. All of those things are indicated here. Okay? This is hard. It's hard when you're lost. I know. Okay? In my dream last night, there was so much confusion. I mean, it's the opposite of how I operate day to day. And I didn't seem to mind it. And that was the weird part for me, right, in my dream, is that I just accepted that that's the way things were. Okay? And that's kind of like succumbing to an illusion, right? Like if I didn't even know which airport I was supposed to get to in the dream. I mean, that couldn't be more opposed to how I am as a person. You just ask my family. Okay. Um, having faith in yourself and not others. Okay. That's another really important meaning of this card. Now, it's not more negative because it's reversed, but it does sort of suggest the other more difficult reading of this, which is illusion or manipulation. Have faith in yourself and not other people. Okay, what opposes you is sort of an odd card here for me, is the Horseman of Scepters, Horse Person of Scepters. This seems to me that it's too many choices are being offered to you by other people for not the right reasons. Okay, and these two cards are somewhat connected to me in this way, and because of this card, I'm reading this card in a really specific way. There are no people indicated here, so there's situations. I would like to suggest to you that it goes back to people have been taking advantage of you or using you to their ends to succeed. Okay, rather than you deciding what you want Maybe you did and then you didn't follow through, or you did and it didn't work out and then you gave up. Okay. And that's created, sort of a defensiveness. And you got to let go of that. You got to let go of being defensive. You got to let go of believing you can solve it with your mind alone. And you have to tune into the highest ideal here that you want. The amazing thing about this card is that it could flip, into not being manipulated pretty quickly, right? It's like, once you learn the truth about something, then you know the truth, right? It really is that kind of quick. It's like a snap kind of realization. Hmm. Beware of too many choices. Okay. Distill it down to what you really want to find your direction. Okay. Right now, what opposes you is, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this, I could do that. Right. I mean, that's how my day has kind of felt as well. I could do this, I could do that. There's lots going on. An ice storm here, trees are down. It was kind of an intense night, all in all. Power went out. Okay. Okay. And the final outcome is the Three of Scepters reversed. So uh, this all comes down to you're not going to succeed because of someone else telling you to succeed. You're not going to succeed because of someone else's success, and you certainly could be the victim of some kind of manipulation and propaganda. Okay. Your direction is your direction, and you got to find it for yourself. And this is suggesting to me, that you have to watch what people do, not what they say they're going to do. Not right. There's a line. We are what we do, not what we say we're going to do. But in this case, it's not. And that might have been true for you in the past, right? You sort of set the stage for this confusion or this feeling lost by not following through on the things you believe. And now it feels to me like you could be the victim of other people telling you what you should be doing. There's an adage, about asking advice from your friends, right? Where at first they sort of, they have your best interest at heart, and at some point really quickly it becomes, how can I give this person advice so they stop asking me for advice? Okay. This is definitely saying to me, you got to go deep for yourself and find the answers for yourself. Don't look for them from other people. Other people are just going to give you a range of options that's too many choices for you. Being lost is kind of has two sides. I don't know what to do. I don't know where I'm going. Or there's too many choices. I could go down this road. I could go down this road. I could go down this road. When I was running that day, I went down all of those roads, kept kind of coming back. Now, if you know Paris, I mean, it's not a grid. I've ran in New York and it's a grid, it's easy, it all is in straight lines. In Paris, it radiates from these circles, right? So I was completely turned around, and I had Google, maps in my ears going, turn right, turn right. Oh, now turn left, go back. I didn't know where I was going. Finally, I just turned it off and I just followed my nose, as it were. And that's what you need to do. You need to follow your nose. Like that Toucan Sam from the Fruit Loops commercials, right? But in all seriousness, right, that's what this is saying to you. Okay. Take an inventory of the things that you didn't do that you intended to do. Take an inventory of the things you meant to say to someone and you didn't say. All of those are leading to this confusion. And then don't believe what everybody's telling you. Okay. And don't listen to the choices. Okay. You gotta accomplish this work for yourself. Okay. So grounding yourself in the moment. No one's coming to save you or to tell you what direction to take. This is all up to you. And that's challenging. Okay. So now, usually when I do a regular sign specific reading, I will pull a Wild Unknown archetype card and I will pull a Sacred Destiny Oracle card. I already pulled those cards. And so I'm going to read what I pulled, how that highlights. And then I'm going to do 4 cards. I'm going to do an animal spirit card for each of the elements. Okay. The wild unknown archetype card. Gnosis. This was really profound to me. It's very unlike me. I have a kind of a system. And if you haven't watched my sign specific readings, I really appreciate it if you have a chance to do that. And of course, if what I'm saying resonates for you, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I really felt there was a fire under me today to do something for you. And I hope that these words are resonating for you. True knowledge is not found in facts and figures, in scholarly books, on library shelves. Rather, gnosis points to the deep and timeless archetypal wisdom that rises from felt experience of having touched the unknown with every one of the senses. And being lost is like being in the unknown, right? So this is giving you an experience to find yourself. Yeah, being lost is lost. You've lost yourself. Goodness me. In my dream, which I consider an incredibly sacred message, right? Like I write my dreams down every day, and some of them are giant. And last night's dream was so big, but I wasn't me in the dream. I was someone who behaved completely the opposite of how I would behave. And it kept leading to more complications and more confusion and more being lost. And so, more than anything, this is about finding what you really believe in. Who are you? And the only person who can answer that is you. Now I got to find my place here. Those who are drawn to gnosis find themselves in esoteric studies, likely involving mysticism, alchemy, healing, or perhaps science. Knowing is their calling. Not knowing is their job description. No matter how far the alchemists take their studies, they come to the ultimate conclusion that facts slip towards mystery, and soon the mystery results in facts. This card signifies a knowing that is life-changing. Once you experience it, you're forever changed and become a guardian of gnosis. The eternal mystery is calling you. Study your position in the deepest way available to you. Study your position in the deepest way available to you. So when you're lost, you might look for yourself on the map. This is a spiritual message for you. You're being asked to find yourself in the spiritual map. Contemplating the mystery, unanswerable questions. And again, asking others, that's a mistake here. Over intellectualizing, right? Not balancing the intuition and the reason. It's a mistake here. Okay. So deep. So deep. A crisis point is an amazing moment when you really can come forward. And that's what's indicated here. So, Sacred Destiny Oracle card, a bit of inspiration. Solitude. How do we do this? We draw a circle around ourselves and we find the answer for ourselves. Solitude. I'm going to read it to you and then we'll do these other cards. Spend some time alone. In your life, this means to take your own counsel rather than relying on the opinions and dictates of others. Over and over again, this is said, other people are getting in the way of you finding yourself, of you finding your direction. Either they're purposely misleading you, or they're giving you too many choices, or, maybe they weren't available to discuss things previously. Mom doesn't want to know why you didn't walk the dog. She just wants to know that the dog is walked, right? She's not focused on your inner turmoil. As an example, right? Break away from the crowd. Be on your own. This card also speaks to self-resourcefulness, self-reliance, and tenacious individuality. If you're working on a project, trust your instincts and follow your own lead. Your creativity is at its peak. Let it flow. If you're in a relationship that's disempowering, this card suggests it's time to step away. Take time to reassess your life. In solitude, you will thrive. This card also suggests safe haven, a sacred womb for incubation and self-transformation. Right? Getting lost is, or being confused. Uh, these are great moments. It's a spiritual moment, right? You need to embrace that. Light a candle, go for a walk in the woods. However you find peace, that's the first step here, okay? Draw a circle around yourself. Okay, Spirit, let's draw some cards, some animal spirit cards. I don't usually use these cards. I use them when someone needs a guide, right? That's what I feel like you need today. Okay, so we're going to do fire. Eternal Spirit, what is the animal spirit card for fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Animal spirit card for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We desire to know the truth. Get lost so you can be found. There's lots of old sayings about being lost. And there's the labyrinth, right, in mythology. So this is the fire sign. What's the animal spirit card for fire today? Desire to know the truth. The wombat spirit. Be at home. That's the simple truth. Okay, which is another way of saying be by yourself. Be at home. Okay, the answer is not outside you. It's right here where you are. Fire. I mean, fire signs are the most pioneering signs in the zodiac, and they're inclined to kind of, I got to find the answer out there. Okay, so Wombat saying, don't do that. Stay at home. Gee, now I have a book here, and let me just read it. What's that? Number 68. You can find these also online if you search the Spirit Animal Oracle. You could find those. Let's just see what it says here. For fire signs, could it be that you're not feeling comfortable in your own skin, thinking that the only way you can be with others is to hide under the protection of a mask or identity you created to protect yourself from getting hurt? This mask or persona is supposed to make you look strong, but really it robs you of your integrity. This kind of reminds me of this card, these sort of unspoken intentions, these scattered purposes that kind of cause the situation in the first place. Wombat Spirit arrives to nudge you to drop the false mask because it's not others who will hurt you now. It is you who are hurting yourself when you aren't being authentic. I mean, literally, that's what I said here. Okay? It's okay, though. You can course correct if you're willing to be yourself no matter what comes, even if others are not in agreement with your authenticity. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Spirit, you're working overtime today for me, for everyone. Okay, air. Eternal Spirit, what is the animal spirit card for air? How can they manage this moment of spiritual crisis, of being lost, directionless? Desire to know the truth for air signs. Air signs being Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Desire to know the truth. Animal spirit for air signs. How do we help them? What animal spirit can they drop in to help them find their way? Being lost. Desire to know the truth. Ooh. Sometimes okay. Most spirit. Tend to the small things. Okay, Gemini, or air signs. Of course, Gemini being one of them. Tend to the small things. Air signs tend to be very expansive, right? So they look for many answers. I think there's too many answers here. Are you caught up in details, micromanaging others and stressing out because you want everything to be perfect? Are you procrastinating because you want every detail to be just right, losing track of time and your priorities? Most Spirit wants you to listen to your intuition that tells you that the detail you fear you are overlooking will only appear when you stop obsessing. Most Spirit will lead you to the nuances you need to notice and will diligently work to support you if you take a breath and trust that guidance will be provided, right? You know, the highest ideals will attract your spirit guides, the ones that will help you. Small gestures carry great power right now, and maybe you need to take action towards discovering what's going on and you may not be seeing, or towards mending a relationship or situation. Ask a question, do a little research, and listen for most Spirit's quiet little squeak telling you, look here, and attend to the detail. Beautiful. Okay, earth signs now. Spirit, we need an animal spirit card for earth. So that is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Of course, if you have a sun, moon, or rising, you can listen to all of these. They're all kind of saying the same thing if you notice. I mean, all of these cards said the same thing to me. Desire to know the truth for earth signs. What animal spirit can we give earth signs that will help them find their way when they're lost right now? I remember the first time I ever got lost. I was walking home from elementary school. I'm old enough that we used to walk home. Earth sign, I desire to know the truth. And I panicked. I realized I didn't know where I was or how to get away, how to get to where I needed to go. It was a scary moment for me as a kid. Maybe in 5th grade or something like that, 4th grade. And some voice came to me to just stop and look around. And I started to look for things in the distance that might give me a clue. And I was able to find my way. In a sense, that's what we're doing here, right? Okay, earth signs. Turkey spirit, give with gratitude and grace. Okay, turkey. Gobble, gobble. Gratitude and grace. I think that's an interesting add-on here. A little different for earth, isn't it? Are you giving in order to receive in kind? Oh, this card keeps coming up. Are you being fooled, right? Are you being tricked into doing something that isn't what you want to do and makes you feel lost? Keep to eye how much you've been given and what's owed to you. This is not the way to experience abundance. When turkey spirit is in the protection position, it's a reminder to let go of any perception of scarcity and fear. Let go of the fear, right? That if you give too much, you will not have enough for yourself. Use your spiritual practice to reconnect with spirit. Remember how it feels to embody abundance, and you will give as much as is needed right now. Know that whatever you need to fill your stores is coming to you right now. Love, prosperity, knowledge, and assistance from allies who are everywhere and want you to be in the abundance you seek. Turkey Spirit is here to tell you that everything evens out when you're aligned with the law of abundance. A spirit wants you to be. Abundance is yours, right? Align your spiritual goals. Okay? Okay, last one. Water signs. Spirit, we need an animal spirit card for water. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Desire to know the truth. Water spirit for Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. I said them in different ways there. I desire to know the truth. I shuffle the cards. I cut them into 3 piles. I do that 3 times. That's my process here. So when you see me doing this over and over, that's what you know. Desire to know the truth. Bat spirit. What does it say? a rebirth is assured. Okay. And that's number 5 in this deck. What are you refusing to let die? The spirit is gently nudging you to let go of your need to cling to familiar story. I mean, these stories in the past that you told yourself or convinced yourself. Some dreams were only meant to last for a moment in time. Sometimes they were only there to slow you down as you recalibrated in preparation for the new life that will give you what you really want. Perhaps you need to grieve and say goodbye to something. At least you're saying goodbye to familiar form. Perhaps you must let go of the part of you that must die so you can be reborn. The temporary time in the dark doesn't have to be scary or sad, though. But Spirit gives you her powers of perception and awareness as you learn to listen deeply and navigate these unknown caves of temporary emptiness. It's temporary. You will emerge with a new perspective, and Bat Spirit will witness you giving birth to the life that matches your intentions and desires of your heart and soul. Okay, those of you who are feeling lost today, whenever you see this message, you're lost so you can be found. You've lost your way because at some point you gave up on the things that really meant something to you. So follow your intuition, marry it with your reason, set your intentions as high as possible, and beware of people trying to solve the problem for you. It's not theirs to solve. Okay, it's only yours alone to solve for your direction. I wish you all of the blessings, those of you who are lost. And I know that you'll find the true path that you were meant to be on. Go peacefully. Go peacefully. Go peacefully. Okay? I wish you all the best. I love you. I'll see you again.